行前路。
Hello, my name is Andrew. I was born and raised in Hong Kong, and I spent my whole life pretty much here. After I completed my HKCE exam, I went to US for my college education, and then I come back here to Hong Kong in 2006. I get 3 sisters, 2 elder sisters and 1 younger sister. My younger sister has immigrated to Australia. My 2 elder sisters are in Hong Kong.
How old are you now?
Early 40s. This building is important to my family because I spent my whole life since my childhood here. My dad's running a grocery store. He came to Hong Kong from the mainland China as a refugee, actually. He swam over to Hong Kong. And then he first worked as a worker in some of the grocery store, and then he realized, okay, if I'm working like that for my whole life, it's not going to help himself or his family. So he decided to start his own business. It has been in business for more than 50 years. We supply foods, grocery, sanitary products to the nearby restaurants. But then he realized he needed to get some storage. So he buy out the first property at the basement level to use it as a warehouse. But the old style Hong Kong family, when they don't have the money to buy a flat, they will live in the warehouse. So actually we are doing the same thing. So we live in the warehouse. We have a loft and we live at the mezzanine level. And then at the ground level or the lower level would be used for storage for goods. Up here where the grills are, this is the loft, or you call it a mezzanine. This is where we live.
So this was your bed upstairs?
This is all our beds.
All your beds?
The whole family stay up there. When we
wow.
Upstairs, we have to climb the wooden ladder and then go up and down. At that time was a handheld baby, so it's kind of dangerous to go up and down. But this is the way it was. We have to face it. My first impression to this building is already very messy because of lack of management. But this building used to be a very pioneer first grade building. It was designed by a very famous architect. It's called Eric Kuhlman. His project include the old Kai Tak Airport main building and then a very famous public housing project. If you look at it from the architectural point of view, it's a modernism architecture. It's the tallest building in Kowloon. It used to be a combination between residential and commercial use. So it started out as a very good high-end building. But as time goes by, lack of management, people abuse the building, everything get falling apart, kind of disintegrate. And then no one take care of it, and then it start becoming so broken. So you would feel like it's kind of sad to see this building with such a high, shiny, glamorous background, and then fading to this point now. It got all buy out and then become all kind of a messy relation with prostitutes and then stuff like that. The redevelopment or the buying out process has actually taken place for a very long time. Usually the developer, they don't mind to spend dozens of years to buy out a property. So actually the first phase I think started kicking off in 1997. So that's a long time ago. In the past 3 years, they resume the actions and then they start buying out the rest of the properties. In the beginning, maybe in the 90s or in the 2000s, I don't have much feelings because I was still very young. But since in the 2008, I started helping out my dad and work in his shop in this building. And I think my attachment to this building is getting stronger and stronger. And then the redevelopment of this place, it will erase part of my memories. I mean, the memory of course is in your mind, but then the physical building is not there, then you feel like something is missing, something's gone. We have spent so much time there, although it's just a shop, but I feel like it's very vivid. Seems like it has a life, it has been supporting for my family for so many years. You can see on the wall, the line still showing. The mark is actually the deck. So this is the place where I spent my kindergarten years here. We get a wooden ladder here. We climb up the wooden ladder grip on the handle and then climb over to the mezzanine. And you can still see that the mark from the fridge.
Okay.
This is a mark from the fridge.
Right.
Yeah, and my dad used to smoke a lot. I put a sticker here. No smoking
You did that?
at home, yeah. No smoking at home. And then the other mark next to it, it's kind of grainy, but you can still see there's the mirror hanging up.
Oh, right.
The nail mark. Since I'm still here and this building is still around, I think my emotion is not that much. But my wife once asked me, what would happen to you once you have to really move out of Champagne Court? I can't imagine that because there's so much memory in this place. And even to a point that when we take the wedding picture, I mean my wife and I take the wedding picture, we chose this place to take my wedding picture. That tells you how much I treasure this place and the memory in it. So the best thing is treasure what you have at the moment and capture all the good memories and keep it in your mind. Yeah, filming is one of the ways to keep it. I mean, for the new generation, I think it's more difficult for them because they are adapting a life that is very fast-paced. You play the video games and everything comes and goes. So for them, maybe it doesn't mean much to them. But I'm surprised to see many people came to this building and visit this building. I think the whole generation is stepping into a point that they want to know who are we actually, and then they want to look back to the history, to look back to the very bright, blooming, economic, strong history of Hong Kong. And then they treasure the old times, the good old days. They want to see what the good old days are about, and they came to this building. I'm very happy to see people, youngsters, who do that because they treasure the past. I think if you appreciate history, I think you will appreciate life a little bit more. And there's a lot of lessons from history you can learn, and then that help us to avoid making mistakes and make the right choices.
So if you had one thing to say to let's say the property development firms in Hong Kong that are all trying to redevelop their old buildings, what would you say to them?
I think it's right to develop a society, but always keep in mind there's a balance to strike between heritage and new developments. One saying from the George Clooney movie, The Monument Man, saying, if we want to whip out the whole generation, we just need to whip out the history of it. If every historical building, all the old stuff is gone, the young generation has nothing to trace to their past, the parents' history. I think it's a very sad, and then the society have no culture and no value.